What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So today we're taking a dive into some of the technical aspects of Gotham Knights. We're looking at the PC requirements and them not yet being announced, especially if you compare to, say, maybe other games that have a release date for, say, down the road and some of the specifics surrounding it. Now, one thing about this is I think the developers possibly want to use this as some kind of a reveal, like a big, ooh, the PC requirements trailer that they usually do. You know, marketing is a very important thing for your video games. Every developer, indie developer, solo developer, and video game company will tell you that marketing has to be done in almost any way that it can be. And I think they're going to market this aspect of the game. But nonetheless, we still have to take a very good look at this because it's quite interesting how important this information is. And if you take some time to maybe go ahead and take a look at the PC requirements surrounding, other games, you'll see some really interesting trends. So Gotham Knights, as of now, does not have any PC requirements announced. I made a video about this a while ago, but we're starting to creep on the calendar. We are now on almost the last day of the month of August. We're looking at, say, somewhere around 52 or so days before release. So it may not necessarily seem like a big deal just yet, but it does possibly tell us a few things. And I say that because, if you look at another game that has a later release date that was actually pushed, that was even supposed to come out after Gotham Knights, Hogwarts Legacy, you're going to see that there are actually system requirements available already. Now, this is quite telling because it gives you everything you need to know, including hard drive specifics in its additional notes, which I've never really seen additional notes actually put together. This is telling us that, man, some optimization, constraints might eventually be seen very soon. So the system requirements are actually, for the Hogwarts Legacy game, are asking for a Core i5-8400 for the minimum and Core i7-8700 for the recommended. And then they're recommending 8 gigs of VRAM and 16 gigs of VRAM. So if you have any specs that suit this, you should be fine. And then they're looking, say, possibly for an SD version of your hard drive that you're going to run the game from. But Hogwarts Legacy is coming out next year. Look at that. It's got literally about 20 weeks or, past Gotham Knights in its release date, and it already has its own, optimization settings and recommended PC, settings as well, which tells us that Gotham Knights may be one of those games that will have a lot of optimization challenges if I were to be a presumptive person, and I'm just making an assumption here, so bear with me, because I've always kind of said that Gotham Knights was quite a unique game in a sense, and from some of the things that I got to see in the way the game is, in its atmosphere and the way that it's rendered over their, recorded gameplay, I've always thought that this game was going to need a lot of optimization work, even after we found out that the game was getting canceled for the PS4 and the Xbox One versions. Now, it's very, very hard to drive this home. I say this every time in our videos because I want to make sure our audience is very aware of game development. When I say things like Gotham Knights probably would not have run on your PlayStation 4 very well or your Xbox One, many people say they don't agree with that the game would have probably run. But the truth is, why would a developer decide not to sell possibly a few more million copies on the PlayStation console in order for them to just say, oh, we're bringing a game out on the next gen? That makes absolutely no sense. In fact, if you look at Gotham Knights the way it's even playing at this May presentation, you're going to realize that there are a lot of, optimization concerns that you pretty much can see going into the game. Look very closely here. Let me show you this small, tiny clip where Nightwing is gliding into that location for Gotham Knights. Look now at this building that is on your left. It's a tower. And look at the way the textures actually load procedurally. So look very carefully. You're going to see the one on your left with all the fog right by it with, the lights up there. Now look very carefully as I play it. You're going to see it loads a little bit more. You see that? Some of the textures just loaded in real time. Now, this is regular for game development, but because of the way this world is rendered, you're seeing different things like this. And if you pay very close attention, it will tell you that this game is quite, heavy in its design and everything. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just saying that those consoles probably would have struggled a lot. And I think these PC requirements might be some very interesting PC requirements when they get released, that for some people it might cause a little bit of a ruckus here in the PC community. I don't know. I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping they're able to get the game to a stable place where it can actually play, the game at a very interesting, or at least at a very high quality without much machine work. But boy, I tell you, man, this Gotham Knights that they, basically rendered here, maybe they were rendering this in a very high, fidelity as well. The entire world was probably getting, its highest and best textures. So this, streaming just now that you just got to see those shadows, they just basically just, loaded in real time as you got your camera close. It's just a streaming technique that they were putting in place. So, when I talk about these PC requirements and all of this stuff, I know some of you are probably going, oh my gosh, here we go again with this conversation. But it's very, very important that we actually take a look at this. Now, here's the benefit for consoles. The benefit is this: the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles are going to enjoy the fact that they will give it a stable frame rate, a stable quality, and more of a streamlined, performance as best as they can, and it would stay that way on all those machines, because all those machines have basically the same specs. And so that's where the benefit is from consoles. So those of us that are playing on PC, we're looking at this and we're like, dang, man, I'm hoping this is not another Arkham Knight PC launch. For those of you who may or may not know, Batman Arkham Knight, when it launched on PC, was so buggy. And I didn't even play it on PC at that time. I had a PlayStation 4, and that's where I played it on. So I didn't even hear anything about it. But apparently I heard, and this is what somebody said, I think I was reading a Reddit forum or something, and they said at the time, if you did not refund your copy of Batman Arkham Knight, they gave you the entire library of Batman games for free. I think Rocksteady did this as kind of a, yo, our bad, we need to go and polish this up. And they basically, you have to go back and finish the optimization for the PC version. Now, the PC version is the best version available, if you were to ask me. I mean, it plays in 90 FPS max. That's the maximum for PC. It has NVIDIA DLSS and all of those functionalities, so you can basically enjoy that. But you go back and you think about, say, the way Gotham Knights right now is with optimization and stuff. It kind of makes me happy. I don't lose faith. Don't get me wrong. Don't interpret this as me saying, well, this might be a problem. I'm an optimist. I think it speaks to the volume and the quantity of content in the game. But I'm hoping that the team also is able to execute what's necessary to be able to give us the information that we need in order for us to be able to get to the point that we can happily say, yes, we're ready to play Gotham Knights, because I'm getting myself ready. I would love to get an RTX, but those RTX prices, I don't like them for their performance, for just having those ray tracing capabilities as well. So who knows? I might jump into Team Red, for those of you who know the language, because I'm already AMD anyways, but I'm happy to see how this game runs on PC, and I'll be happy to get my hands on it either way. And I'll be bringing all kinds of PC benchmarks for you guys as much as I can anyways. And we'll be talking about the console versions too, if at some point I'm able to get my hands on a console version, and we'll go from there. But I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Thanks so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate all of your support for the channel, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon. Peace out.